we've been looking for a way to say thank you to our patrons who've been supporting this refit. Every time that we were bashing into a wave, you can actually see the hole. It felt like a fish breathing.
Where's Kiko?
Cramped working conditions. We're running out of space.
Oh.
My arm is already tired. I'm not even halfway.
It's awesome.
Perfect.
That is the project for today.
Look at my holy.
Alright guys, so now that the second coat of primer is dry, there's one more project we want to do before we actually add insulation to the side of the hull, and that is to grind back out the side of the hull in the V-berth. I know it sounds weird because we literally just painted it, but it's something that we've been thinking about for quite some time because in the very beginning, the side of the hull was always very flexible. The side of the V-berth was even more flexible. And every time that we were bashing into a wave, you can actually see the hull kind of coming in. It felt like a fish breathing. So we knew we wanted to do something, and we have the big ribs going along the middle section of the whole boat. But what we don't have is still some reinforcement in the V-berth. And now that we know what insulation we want to put back in here, we're gonna go forward and we're gonna add mini ribs. That's gonna be the same thickness as the insulation. So they're gonna be like 2 centimeters thick, and we're going to basically make a cross. We're gonna have one that's vertical, and we're going to have a second one that goes horizontally along the hull, just to add a little bit more stiffness, because it's a pretty nerve-wracking feeling to be in the V-berth in the middle of a passage and to see the boat flex so much. So I think it's gonna be a good thing. It does mean that I need to grind out the paint that we just did, but that's okay. Then already marked where I need to grind off. I have my suit on, and I'm just gonna be sanding the hull, and then we'll glass in these ribs. I believe Den is cutting them right now, so we'll have something to play with. So that is the project for today, and let's get on with it.
The tricky part is that it's not planar this way, right? You see there's a gap there. So if we draw the line, I'm looking at if we draw the Sharpie line here, where the laser is, and then we line this up to that Sharpie line, that looks pretty centered to me. I'm looking at the space on each side. That looks really good. And then the same thing on this side. If we line it up here, because it really doesn't have to be that accurate, but I'm just looking to make sure that. Yeah, that looks great. All right.
Mark the line.
Hello. Light, please.
I'll fix it, don't worry.
Hey.
Nice.
Yep. Oh,
It looks really good.
thank you.
Hells yeah.
Hells yeah.
So much like stronger, I think it's gonna be. I go back and see all of it. Ooh, nice. Give yourself a sticky high five.
Oh, it's the stickiest of high fives. Come closer. Ready? Ready? Ah, yeah. Yeah. And guess what?
Nice.
Oh, this one, this last one. Well, that's it. We have our mini ribs in. Now, ideally, inside of the v-berth is going to be like a wobbly drum when we're sailing. That's the goal.
Find out tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, hopefully this is all cured. We're going to put the heater in here so it just like cooks up. And then we'll prime it, and then we'll be ready for installation. That's basically the last thing we needed to do. So, woo!
Good job. It looks awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess we'll see tomorrow. We come back, holy sh**.
So we have been debating for the last 2 years whether or not we were going to be putting our chain plates back in on the outside of the hull or putting them back in on the inside of the hull where they kind of were before. And we've gone back and forth a lot, and we've decided to put them back in on the inside. Because we were unsure, we actually sort of reinforced the hull on the exterior where the chain plates would have been, and we made these and the bulkhead and the divider in front the right distance apart, so if we wanted to put them here we could. And we have made our decision, and that is we're going to be putting them back in on the inside of the hull. We've got some ideas to keep them from leaking this time. It's just going to be cleaner, and it's going to be, we think, maybe a bit stronger and a bit easier to reinforce these areas as it is to reinforce the hull. We also have that foam in here for later as well, so it's going to be a little bit more complicated to put a chain plate there. Last night Kika finished grinding down the primer in front of all these areas because these pieces of plywood, these bulkheads are the right spacing, but we want to reinforce them a little bit more to make us sleep better at night. So we're going to be adding 6 layers of 400-gram biaxial on each side of where the chain plates are going to be. So it's going to be like a really strong sandwich. And then when we do finally install our chain plates, we'll be drilling the holes through oversized and probably putting some epoxy in and then re-drilling them, bedding the chain plates with like a super good fit. But that'll be later once we get the mast over here and sorted out. It's gonna be a lot, but we've got a good setup, and we're just gonna get started, and we're gonna create a little factory of fiberglassing.
Nice. Oh, yeah. That is delicious. Perfect. All right, the first 3 are done, so that's 1 down, 3 to go. So we're going pretty quick.
What's happening today?
Today we are writing the names of all of our patrons on the hull of the boat. We finished with the v-berth ribs. The chain plates are done. Everything is sanded. Everything is primed, and we are pretty much ready for installation. But before we do that, there's one last thing we want to do, and we've been trying to find ways to say thank you to our patron community for being part of this crazy refit with us. And one of the things that we've come up with is to write their names on the hull and then to seal it up with the installation. This way, you guys are going to be permanently part of the boat with us. I downloaded the list from Patreon yesterday, and I just started going at it. There's a long list to get through, and we want to write every single one of our patrons. So it's gonna be a long day.
Did you do any kind of calculation or plan for like how many go in each space so we don't run out? We're just winging it.
I'm just weighing it, starting, filling it up. There's yeah.
It's awesome. I like it.
We'll see how much it goes. So yeah, let's have a lot more. My arm is already tired. I'm not even halfway. That's
You want some help?
yeah, that'll be nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Shining like a work of art, hanging on a wall of stars. Are you what I think you are?
As we carefully write these names on the hull, it's impossible to not reflect on just how far we've come to this point.
Guys, our boat is falling apart.
What have we done?
All the challenges we faced,
That's a big mistake.
the moments that tested us.
Is everybody right? Are we crazy to think that this was worth it?
But also the small wins and the milestones that kept us going.
It's such a relief to know that
Uma can be fixed. Just really excited to get the things that we've been designing onto reality. Each single name represents more than just support. It represents a connection, encouragement, and a shared dream.
Passenger side, lighting the sky, always the first star that I find.
the more we rip out, the more we want to rip out. It's just fiberglass and plywood.
None of this would have been possible without this incredible community of patrons, our Uma Nation, our team, cheering us on through every single step.
She's officially out of the water.
Our world's about to change. You're a whole new boat.
You're not just a part of our journey, you're a part of the soul of this boat. And we're deeply grateful for the chance to bring this soul back to life together.
It looks really cool. Last name, where should we put it? Let's put it here. Let's put Gary here. It's a good spot for Gary. All right, Gary. Let's do it here. Gary. Oops. Sorry, Gary. She. Nick. There we go. That's it. We've got all the names of all the patrons
Nice.
on the boat. Good job.
Oh, should I high five you with the other hand? How's it
Yeah. It looks so cool. I love the different sizes. I love it. It looks really nice.
Okay. It's on.
It looks so great in here. We're officially done.
We're done.
We're done. That's awesome.
It's
We
like
have
well over 1,000 names on the boat. Something
Yeah.
like that.
every
Close to
single
2,000, I think.
every single cubby and areas that we could write a name on has a name on it.
It looks really cool.
It looks really cool.
I kind of like wish we weren't covering it up with insulation.
I
actually.
know.
It's pretty dope.
I know, but yeah, we're gonna wish that we'll have
Yeah.
insulation on it later in the future. So yeah, we have every single patron's name on this boat.
Yeah.
So
Current patron.
current patrons, basically, if you are a patron up to
When this video
basically
was
yesterday when I downloaded
on. Yeah.
the patrons' names, if you're a patron, then your name is on there.
Yeah. But don't worry, if you want your name on the boat, you still have a chance because we're not insulating the ceiling just yet because we're going to be insulating the hull and kind of down into the cabinets and bilges and stuff. We still have a bunch of work we need to do up in the ceiling, like install the port lights, install the hatches, and some other things. So that's going to be a couple of weeks from now. So if you want your name on the boat, you can sign up on Patreon, and
Yeah, and we'll add it somewhere.
when we're ready to insulate
there.
the top, we'll cover the top with more names.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be fun.
So
It looks cool though.
So the next, now we're pretty much officially ready for installation. Which
What do you think was the what name do you think you wrote down the most? Like Robert, Dan,
John.
Michael, John.
John was there's a lot of Johns, there's a lot of Roberts.
Yeah.
You guys
A
are
lot of Roberts.
So many Roberts. A lot of Dans actually.
A lot of Dans.
Yeah, which is funny because some names you have full names. So we went with the names that we could see on Patreon as your name, and
Yeah.
some people didn't put their last names. So some people are just Dan. So that might be you, or
Might be
we have John or
Although-
Fred.
Technically, I don't think there shouldn't be any. I mean, there might be duplicate names because we were both writing names, so and maybe we wrote them. But like because they're your username, I don't think you can have the same username as somebody else on Patreon.
I don't
think you
know.
can. What was your favorite? What not favorite? What's the funniest one you remember writing down?
Clench My Pearls was pretty funny. Clutch My Pearls.
I like that one.
Oh yeah, there was one in here.
The boy who cried WTF. I remember writing that one giggling. So yeah, there's a lot. Every single square inch of our boat that's getting covered in insulation, from the deck down, is covered in names, and I think it looks really dope.
It looks awesome.
But
So-
that means that's the last thing we had to do before we insulate. So now we can
We can.
cover them all up again.
Yeah, but
No,
it's
it's
a
gonna
good.
be cool. It's
I
like,
think it's a good. So you're not going to have your name splattered on our boat, openly after this. It's gonna be hidden. So
yeah, like a time capsule.
Yeah.
Or like you're supposed to put like a penny underneath your mast of like of the year that you stepped the mast, or with the year that the boat was built, or something like that. So it's kind of like that. We're like, these names are going to be permanently part of this boat. So that's kind of cool. And they're going to be like sealed in like a time capsule behind the installation.
Should we write our names? We didn't write our names.
We're not.
I mean, we are on the boat. I mean, not permanently on the boat.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
I'm gonna write my
would've
name.
been
I'm gonna
cool
write it right
to,
here.
I think
There
it would
you
have been
go.
cool to have like everyone come and sign the boat, but that's not really possible.
Yeah.
There's more than 1,000 names on here. But it's kind of like when we had the chalkboard and people who came to visit would sign the chalkboard and we'd take a picture. We'll photograph all of this before we're done. Before we spray with insulation, we'll make sure to photograph each section. Probably post that on Patreon and maybe our website somewhere.
Yeah.
So it'll live there forever.
And on Discord as well, because if you guys are on Discord, it'd be an easy way to see
And
it.
then you can find your name if you want to. We'll try to get like decently high quality photos.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you guys next week
We insulate.
when we cover all this up and seal it up.
Do you think we will fit in there?
For what?
For the end screen?
Oh, yeah. Hey, we did it. Couples goal.